And we are live. Welcome, mystery and thriller fans. I'm your on-air host, Sara DiVello, and I'm so excited to welcome live from New York tonight, Nekesa Afia, here to give us the scoop on her brand new red-hot book, Harlem Sunset, out tomorrow. Nekesa, welcome to Mystery and Thriller Mavens. Tell us about this book.
Oh my goodness. So thank you so much. Yes, I am live from New York, just like the Tony Awards. That's a great joke. So Harlem Sunset is my sophomore novel. It is the second book in the Harlem Renaissance series. And it follows my main character, Louise Lloyd, as she's trying to live her best life. But again, a murder comes and ruins her plans.
A murder comes and ruins her plans is our favorite kind of start.
She really is just like, I'm going to vibe and live my best life. And then someone gets murdered and she goes, oh, now I have to do this again. Great.
It is a recipe that stays as delicious as it was the first time, and we can't wait to see more. So I can't wait to get the inside scoop first and hear about your review in the New York Times, all the good things. But first, I just want to welcome everyone who's watching with us. We are broadcasting live to 6 different destinations. So no matter where you're watching from, you're in the right place. This is the right time, and it is Mystery Monday, which means Mondays can be murder. We're going to try to make them a little less painful. If you've been here before, you know the drill. And if you're new, we're so happy to have you. Welcome. Here's the drill. So every Monday, I give you my handpicked featured authors, and you get to ask them anything. So ask Nekesa about Harlem Sunset. Ask her about Louise. Ask her about her research, the Roaring 20s, how she's celebrating her pub day, all the things. Just get them going in the comments. Anissa, welcome to the conversation. She's saying, hello, Sara and Nekesa, joining us live from South Carolina. Anissa, let us know if you have any questions for our featured author tonight. And I want to get right into this New York Times review by Sarah Wyman, who was on the show when her book, Scoundrel, came out a few months back. So she has called your first book, Dead Girls, a quote, unforgettable debut last year. So, Nekesa, let's start there with what was it like to write your sophomore novel? Was the pressure motivating? Was it paralyzing? Walk us through.
So I actually wrote it in before, or mostly before Dead Girls actually came out. So I was in that sweet spot where it's like no one has any expectations for me. No one has any thoughts about like what I should be doing. So I'm just gonna vibe and write a novel. And I actually like it way better than Dead Girls. I think it's stronger and more cohesive actually. But I feel like that's gonna happen with every book because I'm getting better as I write them. You know. So every book is going to be like, this is actually my best book. So I started with trying to get Lou into the murder. I'm trying to get Lou like out of her comfort zone again. So I started with that as a like springboard or jump off point. My original contract was for 2 books. So I actually pitched this one along with the submission for Dead Girl. So I kind of knew where I was going, but some things changed on the way as well. So I also had to like kind of think about like who should I introduce as new characters? Where should we be going here? Like how should this end? And like what will we be doing next? Because that's another thing with a long running series or something, or series we hope will be long running. We always have to kind of think about the next step and the next book, which is kind of what I'm also thinking about now. Because I am thinking about it because I am writing book 3.
So let's, first of all, I love everything you just said. How do you feel? I like that you said that you feel that this one is tighter and more cohesive. So you feel that it is a better book, and you're anticipating and hoping that every book in your plan series will continue to get better and stronger. So how do you do that? How do you, like, what are your steps for elevating your craft? I'm asking for a friend, and the friend is me.
Okay, so a friend of mine, also me, just does it. Okay, so the thing is, I think I'm always like trying to like push myself, and then in there, and I'm also like trying to like push my characters. And like this goes for like any book I'll ever write. Like I'm gonna like try to like be better and like tackle new things and like try new things in like everything I do. And like that's like the beauty of writing. Like if something isn't working, I can just delete and like try again, or like maybe like this won't work or like something else will. It all kind of depends on like the story, but the thing is that like I have like books on writing craft, and I'm looking into taking like writing courses, because like it's like an instrument. It's like how you keep it sharp, you know.
I like that. And I like the spirit of, if something isn't working, I can always delete and try again. I have to I'm going to remind myself of that the next time I'm struggling. Shantae, welcome to the conversation. Thank you so much for joining us. She says, so your first book came out during the pandemic. Is the promotion of your second book different now that there are more events happening and more cities are opened up? Great question, Shantae.
Yeah, love that. So yes, so actually, the day before my first book came out, my internet went out. So I was in a hotel and my province was on lockdown. So I was just stuck in my hotel, like sitting on the bed, hair tied up, like eating cake and like scrolling through social media. The best, honestly. But now I'm actually in New York City with my siblings. So I don't have any like major like events lined up, but it's gonna be nice to like go out and actually celebrate. So tomorrow I'm doing another live on Instagram, and then I get to go to dinner with my friends in a restaurant. I'm freaking out about it. I'm so excited.
Isn't it weird how we can get really excited about things that we used to not even think about?
Yeah.
Like now going to a restaurant is a big deal.
Yeah. And like, I'm not even nervous it's going to be like that noisy, because I'm just excited to see my friends, and my sister's coming too, and my editor, but mostly my friends.
Yay. Liza Fleissig, welcome to the conversation. Thank you so much for tuning in. She's saying, yay, yay.
Yay. It's oh,
no, go ahead, tell us.
Yeah, no, it's just like really inspiring, like especially after like basically 2 years of being locked up in my apartment, which is like a tiny bachelor. I'm like just watching things on repeat, and I'm just like writing. Like it's nice to be like out in the world, and it's nice to be connecting with people in ways that I used to. Like I went to a show yesterday, and I was front row, and I was like freaking out the entire time because I was like, oh my god, I'm at a show. And it's just nice to be able to like see my siblings and like just connect with people, because like I feel like I haven't had that in a while. And yeah, I'm just so grateful to be here.
Yay. Dr. Thea Sutton, thank you so much for joining us. So Thea was on in December when her fabulous book came out. She has a PhD in English literature. She's an amazing, accomplished author herself. And she says, Nekesa, why the Roaring Twenties? Lots to uncover regarding the Harlem Renaissance. So let's start there. Why the Roaring Twenties?
Great question, and I love your name, Thea. Also, love the fact that you're a doctor. Okay. So I chose the Roaring Twenties mainly because I like it as a time period. That's the short answer. I started writing this series when I was in my final year of university, and I was taking a history course. And it's called Sex in the City. And then one time my professor was like, "How are you guys liking this course?" I went, "Not enough Carrie Bradshaw." And then he like stared at me for a solid 5 seconds and then just moved on. The most embarrassing moment of my like university career. That was a tangent. I'm so sorry. So in Sex and the City, we talked about like, well, Sex in the City, like the Jack the Ripper deaths in the 1800s in London. Then we talked about like gender and sexuality and identity, like they're like early 20th century as well. And that like really struck me, because I was like, oh my God, I've always thought of the Roaring Twenties as like, oh, everyone's just gonna go dancing every night and like drink alcohol and super fun. No. So what I did was basically just took, for the first one, I just took like the Jack the Ripper murders and then put them in the 1920s. And it's just something I've always been like pulled to, especially like the music and the art and the writing and the clothing. 1920s clothing really gets a bad rap, but it's way better than you think. I just think that like it's so fascinating, like as a time period. That's why I went with it. Like I could have set both these books now, but like that's boring, you know? I mean, no shade to contemporary writers. Sorry, it's just not what I want to do.
Well, thankfully, Dr. Sutton also writes historical fiction, and her books actually take place in the late 1700s in London. So you two are vibing. Shantae saying that is hilarious that the professor didn't catch the Carrie Bradshaw reference. I would have laughed if I was there, right, Shantae?
It was such a good joke, but no, he just moved on. I hope he's doing well.
Hopefully he is doing well. Oh, and oh my goodness. Hey Shay, welcome to the conversation. So good to see you pop up as always. She says, hey, I'm late, but I'm here. I can't wait for book 2. Super excited. Shay with the hobbies. Always a pleasure.
Me too. I too am super excited. There are different pub vibes tonight than there were last year. Less stress because I have internet, but yeah, I'm just really excited, and I'm grateful for all of you for being here and giving up your Monday evening to listen to me ramble while I sit in a chair. It's great. Thank you so much.
Yay. Oh, love that. Anissa, great question. She would like to know, Nekesa, what did you learn while writing your debut that helped you with the second book?
Oh, that's such a good question. And honestly, like,
Anissa's a librarian. She's always got those cool questions.
yeah, like, are you also a journalist, Nisa? Because I have a journalism degree, and like, those are the hard-hitting questions we would ask. So what I really learned was that like, it's so important to like know where you're going, and then like stay true to that. Also with the second book in the series, like, so I put all these characters in one book, and now that they're in another book, they have to grow and they have to change. Well, the majority of them do. Some of them can stay the same. But the majority of them have to like grow and change because they're people. They're just not real people. So I have to like look back to like the traits I've given my characters and how they can grow and be expanded. Like, I think the answer I'm getting to here is patience. I also learned a lot of patience when writing my debut. Craft side, I did really learn how to like really like write like the cohesive story I want to read. Like, I've been writing since I was a kid, but like my debut was really like the first time, or maybe second time, I really like tried to like sit down and like write something for myself. So that was really important too. And yeah, I think those are all the major lessons. Also, I like to write at night now. That's something I learned. And yeah, I think that's all. Yeah.
Ooh, well, thank you for sharing what you learned, Anissa. Thank you for the great question. I also like to write at night. So was that something you didn't know about yourself before, or you're just leaning in now?
I didn't know until like a pandemic started, and then like so first I got this bed, new mattress, and like a base, and the base massages and it adjusts, and it's everything. And then I got like this little device that like projects the stars onto my ceiling, and it's also a Bluetooth speaker. And like setting it up, and then like sitting in bed and like just putting music on the Bluetooth speaker, and like putting everything else on Do Not Disturb. That's it. Perfect writing night. Perfect writing.
Ooh, that sounds very spa-like, very zen. I'm loving that. And Nisa's saying she has no journalism degree, but actually she has a business degree, sharing where those hard-hitting questions are coming from. Liza's saying the 1920s, love, right,
Me
Liza?
too. Yeah. So like, oh, sorry, there is a fire truck.
That's okay. We're all loving the 1920s.
Yeah, like I obviously like I love like The Great Gatsby, and I love like just like that era, and like I love the idea that like you could be whoever you want it to be, and it's like way easier then than it is now. Oh my god! Like, have you ever heard of like Williams, like Hollywood's like first major murder? No? Yes? Too bad. I'm gonna tell you. So this guy was called William Miller, right? And he was like this really prolific Hollywood director. But then he was murdered. Alone in his apartment, and by the way, that case is still unsolved. But if you ask me, I know who did it. But it was revealed after he died that he before he was William Desmond Taylor, he was just this guy, and he was married, and he had a kid, and then one day he just left them. Then he disappeared for like, I forget how many years, but a few years, and then he just popped up in Hollywood and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna act now," and then he started acting and directing, and his wife and daughter didn't know what happened to them until they were in a movie theater watching a film, and they were like, "That's him." Isn't that wild? Like that.
We're all in disbelief here.
Yeah, God, I am not making this up.
I am saying, what? This is crazy.
I know.
What? So this, because what's interesting about the 1920s, which I've also learned in my book. So driver's licenses not necessary in all of the states. Passports didn't have pictures, no social security, so no social security card. So it was easier to disappear and easier to be who you wanted to be.
Yeah. And you can just like make that up. You can just be like, oh, I'm now. I'm like, goodbye. And like, that's exactly what he did. And then he was murdered. And like, the fact that he was like murdered is like probably the one of like the lesser more interesting like parts of his life, because like, where did he go? What did he do? He just left his family, disappeared for like 5 years, and then just turned up and was like, okay, let's do Hollywood now. And could you imagine thinking like your husband died or something, and then you're sitting in a theater and going, oh, there he is. Guess he didn't die. Like, you.
There he is frolicking with Mae West or something. I mean, it's just so crazy.
Yeah.
Shay with the hobbies. Okay, so I was wondering as well. We need to know about the cover. So Shay wants to say, did you make the dress on the cover of this one as well?
So actually, well, yes, but I made it last year. So I love the fact that I make clothes, because that's something that's on my Instagram.
I didn't know that either. Shay. Okay, so wait, give us the scoop about making clothes. Tell us what's going on, girls, ladies.
Okay, so first, can I just say that these shorts, they glow in the dark, and I made them.
Wait, you made those?
Yeah. And like the pockets are really,
oh my gosh, this just keeps getting better.
Like I got a new like 11 like phone, and like it fits my phone. So that is absolutely everything. So yeah, so if you see me on Instagram tomorrow, know that I made my dress. No spoilers though. So the dress that Lou is wearing on this cover, on the Harlem Sunset cover, is actually, yes. So it's the dress I made last year for my debut. And I was making it at the same time we were discussing the cover, because cover discussions happen way earlier than you think they would. And so what happened was that the cover for Harlem Sunset was like the other one was like the like other option I had for the Dead Dead Girls cover. So when we were talking about it, my editor Michelle was like, is there anything you want her to wear in specific? And I went, well, I'm working on this dress, can she wear that? And Michelle was like, yeah. So she's wearing the Lou dress. And yeah, so it's a dress I made too.
Okay. Oh my gosh, so many questions. Okay, first of all, Shantae is saying, please tell us about the covers, because they are both fab. They are both fab. They are gorgeous, gorgeous covers. So let's start there, because we got to talk about the covers. We got to talk about the dresses. We got to talk about those shorts. We got a lot to talk about. Okay, let's start with the covers. Shantae, kicking us off here.
So my cover artist is named Emma, and she lives in Australia, and she's actually really great. So I didn't know how much like input I would get for the covers. And like that's always kind of like a hit or miss, because like I guess some authors were like, oh, this is my cover. But Berkeley like really wanted to like work with me, which I really liked. So first my editor was like, oh, are there any like covers you like? So I made like a little like list of covers. I know one of my friends like made like a whole Pinterest board. And like other friends will do like, oh, we'll do like a badge drawing and be like, oh, can it look like this but better? So it kind of depends on like the author. I have no art talent, and I forgot my Pinterest account, so I just made a list. And then like a couple months later, she got back to me, and then like there were just like the sketches. So like the sketch was the one. So one of the sketches obviously was the Dead Dead Girls cover, and then the second one was the Harlem Sunset cover. And then Michelle was like, which one do you prefer? Oh, I prefer this one. Then she's like, okay. And then like 3 days later, she came back with like 6 different color options. I was like, oh my God, there's so many color options, right? There's so many. So I got my entire family on the phone. I was like, what color? And then I went with blue, and nobody else picked blue. I did it just to flex the fact that I could choose the color. My family is super supportive, by the way, but they do sometimes have too many opinions. Love them though. So it was blue for Harlem Sunset, blue for Dead Dead Girls, and then when I was thinking about Harlem Sunset, I was thinking about like what color would go really well with the blue. So I went with the red. There's also like a purple option that my editor was really pulling for because she's a Prince fan. And yeah, so like that's it. Like I also really like them because like you can see Lou's face. You can see that she is staring at you, and she is not impressed with what she sees. Like I feel like there's a trend of like historical like fiction covers to have like the woman like with like an arm up and you're seeing her from the back. So I'm so glad that you like get to see Lou, and you get to see that like there's a Black woman at the center of these books, and you can see that she just doesn't like you no matter what you will do.
I love that too. So first of all, Shantae, thank you so much for the great comment, and for kicking off this great conversation about covers. Nekesa, thank you so much for the inside scoop on them. And I totally agree. I've noticed for a while that a lot of historical fiction, it's the headless woman, where you see her dress or her arm or her cocktail, and it's like, where is this woman's head? And you don't see their face. And I've heard that the reason that is because they want readers to be able to picture the character, use their imagination to see the character as they would see them, and also to picture themselves in the story. But I love that you can see Lou's face. I love seeing a Black woman owning the cover. You can see her sassy spirit.
It's like, it's like you've just walked up to her and like you have a question, but like she's giving you that look like, don't even ask. Like, I do not care. Like that really, like, I don't think Emma actually like read the book. I think she just got a brief, but she nailed Lou's like personality and spirit and like in both of them. And like you could just tell she's like, I have other things to do.
She has other things to do, like murders to solve, tangos to dance, drinks to have. She's got a lot of places to be. I love Shantae, love the cover as well. So thank you for that great comment. And she's saying, let's talk about, okay. So let's talk about the shorts. So you showed us your shorts. So Shay saying those shorts are too cute.
So I really love space. Like I love stars and love space. Obviously I've got like the little device. So these ones, I made them last year and they glow in the dark and I really love them.
Shantae saying, oops, sorry, I went to the wrong comment. She's saying, I had no idea that you could even buy glow in the dark fabric. Yeah, who knew? I didn't know either.
The brand is Timeless Treasures, I think. They were on .com, but I do not know if they're there anymore. Like I just like try to find like space like themed or like star themed fabric wherever I go, and like that's like my signature. My mom thinks I'm insane, and maybe I am, but I like space, guys. I don't know what to tell you.
Who doesn't love space? Fabulous.
Yeah.
And Thea is saying, so your parents have a lot of opinions going back to those book covers. You were the only one who picked blue. She would like to know, do you have a readers group for first drafts, or do you do it all on your own, only sharing your work when you think you're done? Great question, Dr. Sutton.
Yeah, so I'd like to keep it close to my chest, like just because like I really think that like drafts, especially first drafts, are like living, breathing things, and I'm always changing them. I'm always going like, what's this, and then like next and next. So like I cannot show you like a first draft because like it is in shambles. But actually, my mom is my mom's like one of my readers. So like when it's done, like I'll send it to her. And yes, she does have thoughts, and she's like, actually, I think this should happen. I go, okay, mom. And then she's like, maybe, so she read Dead Girls. And then like the first thing she said to me, and she was like, I think Louise should eat more. Like, okay. And what else? She loves like texting like updates too.
Do you take that feedback in? Did Louise eat more after that, or not so much?
Of course not. And like actually the discussion guide in Dead Girls, my mom and dad helped me with. Like I wrote the questions and then like we went through them and like to see like how what the answers would be, and like with that like I like kind of decided like what questions I wanted. So they're my reader's guide. And yeah, like they are super supportive, and yeah, they do try to help, and they do have the best of like intentions, but sometimes it's like doesn't really click because they don't really know like publishing. Like both my siblings are like business people. Like my sister's a dentist and my brother is in business. So I chose like an artsy path that they don't always get it, but they're always there for me. They're always like, hey, if I have thoughts, my mom will be like, okay. Or actually, I went on a trip in April, and my mom came with me just because we could do it. Also, there's another reason.
Wonderful. So I'm loving that your mom texts you that Lou should eat more, and then
mom didn't say.
Yeah, advice you did not end up taking.
Yeah, she's busy.
Thea, thank you for the great question. And Nekesa, thank you so much for the answer. All right, we have 5 minutes left. I think we could definitely take a few more questions, at least 3, so get them going in the comments. Meanwhile, while you're thinking of your questions and typing them, I want to pop over. I want to get back to this review in the New York Times by Sarah Weinman. So she is talking about she's saying that she loved that Lou, who cannot live her life openly as a gay woman in the 1920s, as a queer Black woman, she is on the precipice of contentment. So I loved that phrase, the precipice of contentment. So let's talk about that. Do you agree? And then Shantae, I'm going to get over to you next.
Especially at the beginning, because okay, I was trying to do this with like no spoilers, but very basically, so the bulk of the book takes place about a year after Dead Girls, or a few months after, because that happened in June, and now it's March of 1927. Lou is turning 27. She's like, it's my birthday, hello. And she and Rosa Maria are living together, and they like have their own apartment, so like they get to be like hashtag lesbians in their apartment, and like that's something I was really looking forward to doing, because like I just think they really deserve it. And like they really deserve to like to be together like in that space, and like they really deserve to like have each other. And she's like working at Raphael's club, which of course is thriving, friends. And like Lou's like, she's probably the happiest she's ever been in like maybe like 9 years now. And of course then a murder happens. But it's like really like she and Rosa Maria get to like wake up together, and like she walks Rosa Maria to work, and they get to like just be together. And like it's so thrilling to me to like watch their relationship like happen, because like they just like they deserve it so much. And like that's like I knew like when like this like starting this book, like they have to live together, like they have to be together, like they just deserve this so much. So yeah, so that's like where I was like going with that one. Did I answer the question? Yeah.
Perfect. Yes. Yes. And I just want to share that Harlem Sunset is one of Murder by Books book picks for the month of June. And John just posted a fabulous photo of his book stack. So here is that fabulous photo. I'm going to put it right here in the comments with him with his book pick stack for June. And there was Harlem Sunset, which was so exciting to see.
Thank you so much, John. Love you.
Yay! So here's the link to that. Check it out, y'all. And then I want to get to these 2 questions. First over to you, Shantae, and then over to you, Shay. So first to Shantae, she'd like to know, have you ever thought of making merch having to do with your books, using your fashion design skills to make something 1920s related, maybe? Shantae, great question.
Yeah. Okay. So actually last year I did like this little pre-order campaign where I put out these little enamel pins. That just like said Dead Girls, so there's like a dancing girl on them. And I was gonna do them again this year, but I think time just got away from me. I took this trip, and then I was like, came back and I was like, oh, now I have to write a book. So time slipped away from me. But yeah, I think I really still want to do something like that for this one. We'll see. It's kind of in the works. And I hope that if it happens, you guys will be bad. That's coming out after the book is out. Cause sorry.
Yeah, well, that only gives us a chance to love this book, love the series more. So it's all happening in the right timing. And thank you for the great question, Shantae. I love that. And now let's get over to Shay. She wants to know, which fiction books do you think are great examples of craft? Shay, I love that question. I remember when you asked Walter Mosley when he was on the show. Let's hear what Nekesa has to say.
So it's been a while since I've read this one, but I think The Elements of Style by like E.B. White or someone is very, very good. I have a lot of like emotions thesauruses and like conflict thesauruses. See, I'm not at home. If I were at home, I'd be like, oh, here's my whole bookshelf. No, but so like I think I always like tend to like find things that like will help me keep moving, which of course, yeah, that's why I'm picking up the books. But like I feel like the sources like in particular are really good, because like if I'm having trouble with conflict, I could just like go through and be like, oh, so it's like this or like this. And yeah, so I will have to, Shay, I will have to make you a list when I go home. I'm so sorry. This is the worst answer. But I also do like really think that yeah, like those sources are really good. And I have a few more that I have not gone into yet, but like in January, it's kind of like writer's block. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get like 7 different books. So like these will help me. And I think they have. Also, writer's block isn't really a thing. It's just me being, nervous of the future.
So Elements of Style, I actually don't have that one. I haven't read it, so I'm loving that. So I'm going to put the link right here. So this is Nekesa's recommendation right here. I'm going to put it in the comment. Go to for style and craft is Elements of Style by Strunk and White. So if anyone wants
to, that's that. I said E.B. White, which I know was wrong, but yes.
No. Oh, I didn't even notice. So this is perfect. So here it is, everybody. So you can check that out. And then while you're there, don't forget to pre-order Harlem Sunset right here.
It comes out in like 4 hours. 4 hours.
It's coming out in 3.5 hours, y'all.
Yeah.
So order now. And the good folks at Murder by the Book will send it out to you tomorrow. Not in 3.5 hours, but very, very soon. So I've loved getting to know you, Nekesa, and I've loved learning that you sew. I sew too. I learned to sew when I was 5 years old. So I make clothes and curtains and things too. I didn't know that about you. So this is so cool to know. Shay saying, I'm so excited. Me too, Shay. Me too. And she says, going on my books with Black girls on the cover bookshelf. Yay! Me too.
I love that you have the whole bookshelf.
That's a whole bookshelf. Exactly. Are they, Shay, are they face out or are they spine out? Let us know. Shantae saying, you weren't wrong. The cover says it was co-written by both Strunk and E.B. White. So you are on point, girl.
Thank you.
Yay. All right. So y'all, it has been another fabulous Mystery Monday because Mondays can be murder. Closing out with Nekesa Afia live from New York. Shay saying some are face out, some are spines out. I love that. Liza saying she needs a whole bookcase, not just a shelf. Yes.
Love that energy, Lisa. Yes.
Yes, Liza Fleissig, speaking truth, loving that. We need the whole bookcase of beautiful Black women on the cover. Anissa saying, have a fabulous pub day tomorrow, celebrating in New York City. And she's saying, thank you, ladies. Anissa, thank you as always for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for spending the night with us. And I will see you. No, next week we're off because it's 4th of July here in the US. So I will see you in 2 weeks on July. Is that 11? I haven't looked that far ahead.
The 11th. It's a day I leave. It's the 11th. Yep.
Okay, thank you for letting me know. All right, everybody, that is a wrap. Nekesa, thank you so much. Happy pub day tomorrow. Y'all, I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.